one day. But the significant thing, I think, for us is to understand what we learn from this situation. We are a program-sized church filled with intelligent, good people, faithful people. When COVID-19 hit, it was really hard. I was very anxious. All of a sudden, we had this church that was thriving, and our worship is the center of our life. And now we can't do that any longer. I even questioned my own priesthood at the time. You know, if I'm not able to lead worship, if I'm not able to preside over the Eucharist and consecrate bread and wine, I started to question how I would be a priest. And that's when I realized that, I didn't have to do this alone. God is walking with us every step of the way, and that I'm walking with a community. Initially, when we were told by our bishop that we had to stop in-person services, I turned to my wardens and I said, what do we do? They and I spoke a great deal, and then I went to leaders in our parish. One particular person, Fred Allardyce, who was also a warden at one time, and I said, Fred, I don't know what I'm going to do. We're going to have to stop services. I'm not sure what's going to happen to us, right? He said, whenever I face challenges in my past, and I've faced many of them, there are two reactions you could have. You could either lean in and be aggressive, or you could be tentative and be afraid. And so what we chose to do as a community was to lean in. We started to think about how we're going to do that. All of a sudden, everything that's centered around worship now has to change. What we did was we pivoted real quickly. The worship services, we moved quickly onto online. The thing that we wanted to do was connect with our parishioners in whatever way we could. Each Sunday at the line at the end of service, they'd tell me what was happening in their families and what they needed prayers for. And so what we said was, okay, we need to establish a telephone tree and figure out what are the issues that they're dealing with, especially during this time of great isolation at home, right? Third, we established the Sunday school online program, and then we did a program for adults. And then finally, we did this daily program where I really just speak to my parishioners. That program is called Food for Thought. Even though I love to talk, and they know I talk too much, what we decided with that piece was to get wisdom from different people that I knew. We used to have an average Sunday attendance of 225. Now we're connecting to people, 300-400 people a day, and then they share it with other folks. And so eventually we're reaching between 3,000 to 4,000 people. We have people from Westerly and Stonington initially, then it's all over the country, Florida, Arizona, California. We're going global. There are people from the Middle East and London. But I like to say, actually, my mother's watching this from India, so that's why we're global. It's really wonderful because the community is now much, much larger than it was before. So at Food for Thought, I interview all these really wonderful people. And we had Jerusalem Greer on one. She actually referred a passage from Scripture to me, Jeremiah chapter 29. Jeremiah is speaking to the people of Israel, and many of them are already in the exile. And a lot of those folks are saying, we got to get back to home. We got to get back to what we know. But Jeremiah, the prophet, says, no, go there, plant farms, plant vineyards, find a life there. Nurture yourself there. Be part of the community. Then, after 70 years, I'll bring you back to Israel. Don't just live in the past. Deal with the reality that you're facing with. Don't be afraid of the future, but embrace it. Right now, we're in a COVID-19 world. We have to deal with our reality, adapt to it, not live in anxiety and fear about all the things that could possibly go wrong, or live in a depression where we think about all we lost in the past, but rather embrace the moment in faith. God is working in this moment with us. COVID-19 will end, but the significant thing, I think, for us is to understand what we learn from this situation. There's going to be other challenges. Life is struggle. If we embrace it, it's a struggle that helps us to live and find passion and hope.